Hey guys, so a lot of you follow my personal account that follow me on my makeup page, and I did this look the other day. It was a black smoky eye with glitter on it. It was so pretty, and a lot of people wanted to see how I did it. So today I'm going to be doing just that. I'll do my face first because the fallout's not that bad with the shadows I'm using. I'm going to get more into that later, but I'm going to start with the moisturizer, and for that I use the oil-free by Neutrogena. I use the one for combo skin because I get oily right here, but it's not like too bad. Put it all over my face, put it on the neck, because you don't forget the neck, ever. So after moisturizer, I'm going to use my Ulla Hendrickson Banana Bright Under Eye Cream. Just lather it on because my under eyes are dry and they show that I don't sleep. So your under eyes will play you. Don't let them. Just use moisturizer. But okay, so even though this is expensive, I feel like you should invest in your skincare, because if your skin doesn't look good, your makeup won't look as good as it can. So you should probably, you should really take care of your skin. And I'm using my ring finger because it's your lightest finger, and or if you don't know, your under eyes are really, really delicate. You don't want to cause any more wrinkling. So after I moisturize my face, I prime. Depending on the day, sometimes I use primer, sometimes I don't, but lately I've really been liking the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. It's a dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas, and it's huge. Like, I've had this for a long time, and I only use that much. I get pores, fill the daddies in. Sometimes I like to pat it or like rub like this. If you could see this, just ignore it because my fake tan's coming off my hands. Take more, put on my smile lines because they are deep. I'm trying to teach myself to stop smiling. I'm kidding, just kidding. On my chin, but right here, and on my forehead. This is just gonna give us like a smoother canvas for our foundation. So after I prep my skin and prime, I like to go in with my foundation. The one I used lately is the Maybelline Dewy and Smooth. Love her. And I always mix my foundations with strobe cream. I've been doing that for like almost a year. I don't know. It shears it out in a way, and plus it gives you like a glow. About that much foundation. I really don't use a lot because I like concealer more. You can hide everything. And I like do equal parts. Just throw it in there. Mix it with my hand. Where it's darker than my face, again, I fake tan. So we're just gonna go with it. It's all over my cheek, and then I just bounce her out. Don't forget the ears, please. Just don't. Look at that. I'm already matching the body again. It's beautiful. The thing I really like about this foundation is it's medium, but you can build it up. And the glow is just really pretty, especially with the strobe cream in it. I don't like to put too much product by my smile lines because, like I said earlier, they're deep and they crease easily. So I like to cover them like once with foundation, but I don't put concealer around that area. I made that mistake too many times and I come out looking cracky and old. I had to put my hair up. Anyway, so after the foundation's evenly all over your face, don't forget your neck, please, because there's nothing worse than that line, and bring it down. It's that I see people forgetting a lot, or even me, like before I did this, I used to forget to put it like right under my jawbone and drag it down. Or tap, whatever you want to do. Just make sure it's all one color. After foundation, I like to go in with a color corrector because my bags are dark. Using the Bobbi Brown corrector. Just pop this on before my concealer. And don't forget about your inner corner right here. I've honestly never met someone with as dark as bags as me. Maybe my brother, but he doesn't wear makeup. So I can't ask him how he covers them. It's been trial and error for me. Hi Levi, how are you doing? You gotta go, baby. I'm filming something. So after correcting, I'm gonna go in with my tried and true Shape Tape concealer. If you have never tried this, I highly, highly, highly suggest it. It covers literally everything. I'm gonna be using two shades. I'm gonna be using the shade Light Medium to just cancel more darkness. So I'm gonna blend this out. Like, just look at that. Where did she go? I don't know. The second shade I go in with is going to be Fair Light Neutral, and it's obviously very light, but it's the shade I use when I don't fake tan. I'm gonna use this to highlight my face, like bring out the features that I wouldn't contour, because you want these areas, like the perimeters of your face, sunken in, and usually you use a lighter shade like in the center of your face to bring them forth. You'll see. I do a little bit on my forehead. I don't like to do a lot because product builds up there really easily and it can look cakey really fast. Made that mistake too. I have a little bit of redness right here, so I'm gonna go in with a little bit more right there. Depending on the day, honestly, I don't really highlight my nose because I feel like powder can do that, like setting powder. So I go in on my chin, like in a small amount, can really see how it highlights my chin. I love it so much. I'm gonna go under my eyes, probably about that much. Again, I'm not gonna forget about my inner eye. When I'm blending out my concealer, I like to start on the outer parts, work it into my skin. Don't forget your nose crease, because people get really red right there. And then I like to go in on my circles and up to my eye. Just buff everything out. Okay, and then I go in on the inside. Oh, it looks like I slept. Did I? No. I'm gonna set my under eyes immediately because they will crease. And then I'm gonna go into cream contour and like highlighting and stuff. When I set my under eyes, I like to pat out the wrinkles because I don't like greasy under eyes. I'll just use I'm using the Fenty powder, by the way, in the shade Butter. And I'm only gonna set like the very top part of my lower eye. I'm so weird. Actually, I'm gonna go in on my smile lines too because, like I've said, they're deep and they crease. And yes, you will see that I use a lot of powder, but that's not gonna stop me from having glowy skin. Stay tuned to see how I do it. So now that I've set my under eyes and I have a Hulk Hogan moment going on, is that his name? I don't know. I'm gonna cream contour. Depending on the shade of my skin, I either use the Super Stick Foundation, or I use my Fenty Matchstick, but this is too light for me right now. That's not gonna do much for me. The one I'm gonna be using today is the Maybelline Super Stay Foundation Stick, that's what it's called, and the shade Mocha. And I don't like putting like contour right on my face and then rubbing it out because it takes my foundation off, literally no matter what products I'm using. I guess I got a heavy hand. I like to rub my cream contour on the Beauty Blender, just paint the top of it and you'll see it. I go in on either side and it's gonna be dark, don't worry, we'll blend her out. If I put too much on it, I'll go on my cheekbone and bring it up to my forehead because I got a big old forehead, so we gotta hide her. And this foundation stick's really pigmented, so I could honestly just use that for this half of my face, which I'm probably gonna do. Don't forget your hairline either. And then for my jaw, I just take a little bit, just run it right here. Just diffusing this line. This is such a great angle, huh? So I do my bake, and after I put cream contour on the perimeters of my face, I like to go in and just contour my chin a little bit to make it look more defined. So when it comes to contouring my nose, I do it a few ways. I either put it straight on my nose and blend it out with a sponge or a brush, or I just put it on the sponge like I did for my face and blend it out. But lately I've been putting it on a brush, like the cream contour, and then just going ahead. So what I do to contour my nose is I start where my eyebrow and my nose meet. I always go in my eye socket so it looks a little bit more natural, because this looks natural, right? And I like to stay on top of my nose bridge. Sometimes people go in the outsides, which makes your nose look defined. To snatch her, you need to stay on top of it and make sure the lines are close. And do not forget the bottom of your nose. It'll give you like that little push up effect, like that. And the sides of my nostrils, I never forget either. I know it does look a little crazy right now, but it'll get better. Just trust the process. Look at that. It's just, I'm gonna be using the Cover FX drops in the shade Moonlight. I've had this for ages. That's probably why it looks like this. I honestly don't use that much. It's so bright. See what I mean? That's insane. I'm gonna focus it right here, and then I'm gonna blend it out to about right there. I used to put highlight like literally directly right on my pores, and I'm trying to not to, but it's just so hard when you love highlight. And I'm gonna bring it up on my temples. I like to focus it right above my eyebrow, because in pictures it just gives you a good glow. And then I'm gonna go in with my sponge and make sure there's no harsh lines, because we don't like those here. If you do not have a sponge, a beauty blender, literally any sort of a sponge, you need one. It just makes everything so much easier and seamless. Isn't that so pretty and dewy? After I do my cheeks, I put a little on my nose and just spread it out. So now it's time for my favorite part, setting my face. I love setting powder so much. Your makeup will stay on so long, you don't crease, you look airbrushed. The one I really like is the Fenty Beauty one. I also like this one by e.l.f. It's new. It's called the Halo Glow Setting Powder. Also, let me tell you about this one. The Makeup Revolution setting powder in light pink. It literally is like a dupe for Fenty and like a fraction of the price. I got it at Ulta on the drugstore side. It has the same thing as Fenty. Amazing. But I'm not gonna be using that one today because it's really, really, really light. So I have all this cream product on my face. I'm only gonna set like the areas where I really need it. So the center of my chin, forehead, because that's where I get oily. And I make sure I get right in between my eyebrows because I have like a little wrinkle there. And I hate it. I'm gonna set my pores right here because I can get a little oily right there too. I'm gonna dab a little bit. After I set my face, I'm gonna bronze, contour, and do blush. For bronzer, I really like the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe brush. It's the JH02. It's just really fat and gets a lot of area covered in a short amount of time. The bronzer I'm using today is the Silky Matte by Milani in the shade 03. Tap off your excess. And I don't like necessarily go in and rub. I like to pat first and stamp, and then I move a little bit because I don't want to move the cream products in my face that much. So I like to tap and do little circles, or honestly I do like flicks, like downwards, like that. It's setting that cream contour I put down, and it's just enhancing my new facial structure. I go a little bit on my ears too, just so they match my face. Some people don't like to put the bronzer right here, but I do. Makes me feel like Angelina Jolie. Who doesn't want to look like her? She's gorgeous. So I'm gonna get my 5 head, really get in that hairline, because you don't want a white hairline. Get right here, connect my cheek and forehead. And for my jaw, I don't like to put a lot. I just like run it twice, bring it down, and run over my chin line. So after I bronze up my face, I'm gonna contour my nose, and I'm gonna use the same powder and the same brush I used for my cream. I'm just gonna run over these lines to intensify it. Like I said, it looks scary. Just trust me. It blends out. So how's your quarantine going, you guys? Just got extended another month, and honestly don't know if I can handle it. I'm like a homebody, but I don't know. I was going to school and work, and I actually liked going to school because I was going for something I like. Makeup and hair. And then it got shut down. I don't have a job right now. You know, just girly things. But it's fine because it'll end and we're all gonna come back together. Yeah, I'm trying to keep a positive outlook, going outside maybe like once a day, even if it's just to walk around my apartment complex. But I don't know, I just keep telling myself it's not gonna last forever, at least I hope not. For my contour, I'm using the City Bronzer by Maybelline in the shade 300. And I'm gonna use like an angled brush to really define my cheeks. This stuff's really pigmented. Lightly stamp my contour right where I want my cheekbones to look the most prominent. Then I go in and flick it a little bit. But mostly when I do contour, I just stamp. Question I get a lot when I'm doing makeup is, what's the difference between bronzer and contour? Because a lot of people are like, what? I don't do that, I don't understand it. They're both defining, I don't get it. Bronzer is more warmth for your skin. Think of how when the sun hits you and you have natural shadows on your face, and it makes your cheekbones look more sunken in, and like these highlighted areas come out, just like the natural anatomy of your face. So with bronzer, you're gonna add warmth to your skin to make it look like you've been in the sun. Contour is basically just deepening up your bone structure where you wanna emphasize your bone structure. Bronzer's for warmth, contours for chiseling. I tried to go on this whole rant, I'm sorry, it was... After I do that, I'm gonna bake my face, and I'm using the Fenty powder again. I'm gonna carve under my cheekbone, and I like to tap the powder down and drag it a little bit so it's not just a white line, it's like a whole area. And you see this like little area where I contoured, so what I do is go back again with more powder to define it, because I like a defined line. And I'm gonna just, with like the excess powder in my beauty blender, I'm just gonna go in a circle right here to like marry the bake with the contour, and it's kind of like veiling it, like you are just making it look more seamless and blended and not as harsh. I love powder. Promise I'm still gonna look dewy, just wait on it. After that, I'm gonna bake my nose, and I'm just gonna go on the sides where I put that contour, and I'm gonna drag it out so it's not a harsh line. So after I bake, I'm gonna let that sit for a while. I'm doing blush. I'm just using a Milani blush. They're like the best blushes on the planet. My cheekbone, and I'm gonna bring a little bit on the apples. I love blush so much. Just makes you look so alive and so cute. I love it. So I'm gonna wipe with my bake now, and I'm gonna have a sharp line. So after I wipe the bake away, I like to go back in with my bronzer brush and just blend everything together. I am a whore for blending and seamlessness. Take the excess powder on my sponge and run it over that contour on my nose. So the face is done for the most part, besides like highlight and stuff. But I'm gonna use a setting spray to let all the powder sink in. I'm using the Morphe setting spray. While that sinks in, I'm gonna brush through my brows because that's the next step. Brows make such a big difference, especially on me because I feel I'm thick. Daddy's thick. So for my eyebrows, I use 3 different products. Very high maintenance with my eyebrows. They form my face. I need to be. I'm using the shade Henna in this ColourPop and Karuchi palette. It's very old. And I don't mind the natural shape of my eyebrows, but I want more up top because they're just too thin for me. I don't mind the actual shape of them though. So I'm gonna start in the very middle and drag a line through my tail and just elongate it. Then I'm gonna take the leftover powder and run it through the front. But one time I was like 16, I was 15. I went like this with a razor, the classic story, and I shaved part of my eyebrow off and it has not grown back fully, and it's been 5 years. I start in the middle again, can go arch it more than it is and fill it in. You can see I'm getting more of a shape, but we're not done. I'm just gonna emphasize that arch a little bit more, and then I go up to the front of my eyebrow. So I take a little bit more and focus right here on the front because I don't really have like a lot of hair there. So after I fill in my eyebrows, I'm gonna carve them out. And I'm just gonna use that same concealer I used to highlight my face with. When I carve out my brows, I used to do like a really harsh line, and then I learned that I didn't like that look for me. This little brush, the smallest brush on this planet. I can't talk when I'm like doing my eyebrows. So basically I'm gonna carve out the arch right here, and then I'm gonna drag the rest to the front. After I carve out my brows, I like to set it with the Fenty powder yet again. I start at my brow bone by just tapping my lid and my crease. One thing when I'm setting my eyes is I go back over my nose contour just to blend it in and be more seamless. So after I set my eyelids, I like to go in with the brow gel. I like this one by Makeup Revolution in the shade Warm Brown. Make sure my tail is in the place I want it and just brush up these front ones. Before I do my eyes, I like to spray my face again just to let everything sink in. I love setting spray as well as powder. So now for the part that you guys wanted me to record, the eyes. I'm going to be using 3 different palettes. I'm using the Urban Decay Moon Dust. It's just a bunch of glitters. It's so pretty. I'm using the Conspiracy palette by Jeffree and Shane. Beautiful. I'm only going to be using one shade from the Jaclyn Hill palette. It's just a dark brown because Conspiracy doesn't have one dark enough for me. But the one I'm mainly going to be using is Conspiracy. I'm going to be using so many brushes for this look too. Like I said, very detail oriented. So the first shade I'm going to be using is Cheese Dust as my transition. I'm using a Morphe M441 just because it's really fluffy and big, really soft. Love her. I'm going to start in my inner corner, make a circle, and then drag it into the crease. I like to do little circle motions right here too. And then just blow at the top because we are making sure this look is very seamless. This look really isn't hard. When it gets tricky is when it comes down to the blending the black and the brown, but I'll talk you through it. It's okay, we got this. After I applied my transition shade, I'm gonna go in with Flaming Hot from this palette on a Morphe Y17. It's basically the same thing as the transition brush I use it. It's just a little bit more tapered at the top. I'm gonna be putting this right under the transition shade, so on the outer corner again and my crease. But I'm just trying to get a little bit more control. That's why I like this tapered blending brush. So I start in the outer corner again. Then this is where it changes up. I don't go all the way up with it. I open my eye and just stick it in the socket. It sounded weird. Yeah, same motions, same thing, just keeping it lower. Then I'm gonna go back in with my transition shade and just blend those two together. That's the key when you're doing looks like this, is once you put another color, you just blend it with the one you previously used. After I use those 2 shades from the Conspiracy palette, I'm gonna use my Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm gonna be using that dark brown shade in the corner. Make sure you're tapping off all your excess. That's the key for not getting fallout after you do your face first. So the brush I'm gonna be using is the M433. It's kind of like a blending brush, but it's really tapered. Just get more tapered as it goes. I'm gonna place this color on the very outer part of my eye and then drag it a little bit into my crease. It just adds a little bit of definition and it's gonna help that black blend with the red. Oh, I know I said I wouldn't bring it into my all the way, but I'm gonna have to blend it. Go back in with the red shade right over top of that brown. Just blend it more. And I'm gonna go back in with the transition shade, the orange one. Just blow it over top. And I like to bring my shadow up to my brow bone. Not a lot of people do that, but I have a lot of lid space. My friend has hooded eyes, and whenever I do her makeup, she gets mad because I bring her shadow up, but I'm like, looks good. It's my thing, I don't know. Next to the scary part, we're gonna go in with the black shade. I'm gonna be using My Rides here and the Conspiracy palette on this M562. Very thin, very tapered. I love this brush. Honestly, out of all my brushes for my eyes. Start working in little sections with the black. I'm gonna start by sweeping it across half my lash line and then bringing it, basically like putting it all over my outer V, but lightly, and then a little bit in the crease. That's all I'm doing right now. Starting on the lower lash line, putting a little bit right here, and bringing it in a little bit. After I apply the black shade, I'm gonna take that brush I used for the dark brown with nothing on it yet, and just blend it out a little bit. So I'm gonna dip my finger into this shade. Still gonna tap off the excess. It's so pigmented, it's crazy. So I'm just gonna wipe it on my lid. Look how pigmented that black is. It is insane. Get up a little bit into my crease just to make it easier to blend later. I'm gonna go back in with that brush I used for the black. No more product on it yet. And just blend out those edges on the crease. Basically now I'm gonna do the same colors I did in my crease but reversed. So I'm gonna go back in with a dark brown and just blend that black and then red and then orange. Rubbing first, and I'm stamping. Then I'm gonna do the circular motions. Diffuse that brown we just put on. So I'm gonna take my transition shade and go right over top of that red. And then I'm gonna go back in with a little bit of black, but on the brush this time, just to darken up that lid and crease a little bit. And just to be safe, I'm gonna take that dark brown brush I used and just diffuse the black even more and just blend until I'm satisfied. So we're looking a little crazy, but it's going to look better, I promise. So before I go in with my lid colors, I like to put translucent powder on the outsides of my eye just to clean it up a little bit because I tend to go a little ham with it. I like to clean it up a little bit. I'm gonna let this sit while I'm doing my lid just so that it has time to like absorb and actually clean it up. I'm gonna brush that harsh line away right under this so that it doesn't leave a harsh line on my cheek. Now time for the lid. I'm gonna be using two things. I'm using this e.l.f. glitter. It's in the shade Black Magic and the Moon Dust palette I talked about earlier. I'm gonna be using the shade Granite out of here. I'm gonna apply the glitter first. This glitter's really good, but I like layering them because it gives me even more glitter. And who doesn't want that? I'm gonna start in the middle of my eye and just slap it all over my lid. It's so pretty, so pretty. And I'm gonna use the end of this doe foot applicator and just kind of buff out those edges a little bit. While the glitter is still a little bit tacky, I'm gonna go in with that little brush and diffuse this line. So after the glitter's dried, I'm gonna take Granite from this Urban Decay palette. I'm gonna use my finger because I don't like using metallics on brushes because I feel like my finger applies it better. And I'm just gonna tap it on. You can already see a huge difference. It just adds so much more glitter. It makes it intense. And I love intense eyes. Then I'm just gonna blend it out again. After that, I'm gonna go in with a literal white shade. The shade called Ranch from Jeffree's palette on a Sigma E25. It's just a tapered brush, kind of fluffy, but more tapered. And I'll put this on my brow bone to kind of lower the eyeshadow and just highlight it. And then I'm gonna take that transition brush and just blend my crease with that white. And I'm gonna brush this bake off. I'm gonna do my lower lash line, and for that, I'm gonna do the same colors as I did in my crease. I'm gonna start out with the orange. And don't be afraid to like put this everywhere. If it gets like too low, it's okay, because we're going for like a smoky look. I'm gonna take the red, same thing, but I'm not gonna put it as low. And this is the color I'm mostly gonna focus on because my crease is red. So after the red, I'm gonna use that dark brown again, and I'm gonna just keep putting the shades closer to my lower lash line, because for smokier looks, you wanna keep the darker at the top and then blend it out. And then I'm gonna take the black shade, and I'm gonna keep this one the closest to my lash line. I'm taking like the smallest amount, and I'm just gonna run it over. And when I'm using the black, it's when I really marry the two together. I'm just gonna go back in with that brown and blend it together. Take that white called Ranch on my inner corner, but I'm not really gonna use it to like highlight. I'm gonna use it as a white to kind of tone this down a bit. I like to bring out the whiteness right there too. Blending it out. When I'm highlighting my inner corners, I honestly just use any highlight I have or I think will go with this look. And since this look, like the lid is intense and kind of cool, I'm gonna go in with this cooler shade from my Nicole Guerrero and Anastasia palette. It's called Forever Young. I'm gonna take it on my pinky since it's like the daintiest finger. I'll place it on the inner corner. I'm gonna use a really small Real Techniques brush for this. I'm gonna blend everything one more time. Eyes are done, finally. Next, I'm going to use my brow pencil because my eyebrows kind of got a little shadow in them. So I'm gonna be using this e.l.f. eyebrow pencil. It's like $2 and it's amazing. Go in the tail again, redefine it, especially on the arch. And just emphasize my brows. And I make them much thicker. I don't know why I was so far away from the mirror just now. I feel like I can see. I'm like that person when I don't have my glasses on in public and you wave at me and I don't wave back. It's not because I'm mean, I can't see. I draw a mole right here, but lately I've been liking it right here. Just like that, and I have like little moles on the side of my face, or freckles. I like to emphasize sometimes. I save my mascara and lashes like for the very last step because it's the most dreadful part to me. I'm gonna spray my face again before highlight. So many highlights, it's hard to choose one. Can anyone else relate to that? I'm gonna use my Ofra in the shade Star Island. Classic, love her. She's blinding. And I've been having this like Ciate Glow 2 highlighter. I got it when I used to have an Ipsy. It literally is in the pan. It's called Moon Dust. The highlight brush I used is my Morphe Jaclyn Hill. It's the JH09. It's basically like the M501. It's just a little bit wider and it's white. So I'm gonna take my highlight, put it on my cheekbone. This highlight is insane. Maybe a little too light for me right now. Definitely is. I'm gonna focus it on my temples up there. Run a little bit on my apples. But I'm gonna tone it down with that Ciate one because it's dark. Don't forget this like outer area because when you do like a side profile in a picture, it hits it. The nose, I do like a line, like an exclamation mark. And Cupid's bow, that's my favorite part. I never forget it. I've been doing it on my chin lately. I don't know why. I'm gonna take my beauty blender and just pounce. Now I'm gonna set my face for the final time. I'm gonna be using the iconic London Prep Set Glow. Stuff will have you looking dewy all day. The only thing I don't like about this is the spray. Like it's really intense and it's not fine at all. Like so I have to like hold it like this and then go in. Like it's a whole thing. After that's down, you can see I look dewy. Some parts I don't want to look dewy, so I go back in with my powder again. I take the smallest amount and I set my forehead and right here. And I go over my smile lines again. Everywhere else I want to look dewy, but I don't want to look shiny. You know what I mean? Promise that's it for the face. I do a little thin line of eyeliner just to blend the lashes with my real ones. Curl my eyelashes and then I'm gonna use the Lash Sensational Luscious Full Fan Effect mascara by Maybelline. I'm really anal about my eyelashes. I like to make sure every single one's covered. I start at the base and just wiggle it up. I'm using the Ardell 858 3D Foam Ink. And I use tweezers to put my lashes on. I use the Duo Lash Glue with a brush. I evenly coat it and let it get tacky. And while it's getting tacky, I'm gonna curl my real lashes so that they blend better with the fake ones. My hair is leaning out towards from the silver and going back blonde. Only in the front, like I said in my last video. So, just don't pay any mind to that. Normally I wouldn't say like go ham with the under eye mascara because you don't want it to like get everywhere, but since this look is black, it doesn't matter. So my lash is tacky. Clamp it in the middle. And I like to bend it a little bit so it fits better to my eye. Place it right in that eyeliner we did. I like to stick the middle first and then take the outer corner and put that one down. And then I stick the inner corner in. Lashes make such a difference. I think it speaks for itself. I would do lash extensions, but I just don't have the patience to like maintain them, and I like wearing lashes, like fake ones. Like same thing, I want hair extensions, but I just don't know if I can keep up with them. First I need to get my hair back to its regular color. Like I'm high maintenance, but then I'm not. Middle maintenance. Once everything else is done, I'm gonna do lips, and this is the last part, I promise. I put chapstick on. The lip liner I'm using is the one I always use. It's called Nude Truffle by NYX. So I start in the middle and go above my natural lip line, and it just looks bigger. I mean, I don't do anything like intense, but I like to overdraw. I already have like naturally like fuller lips, but on the sides they go in, and I just overline them a little bit. After that, I'm gonna use the Kylie liquid lipstick in the shade Bare. You can leave it matte, but I don't like matte on my lips. It emphasizes my lines. I'm gonna go in with a lip gloss by Jeffree Star. It's in the shade Legends Only. If you're in the market for like really good lip products, you can't go wrong with Kylie's lip kit because they literally never come off. And Jeffree's lip glosses are the best I ever tried, and I've tried a lot. We're done. How do you feel? Did you try it with me? I want to see someone recreate a look I've done. No one's ever done that yet, that I know of. I hope it was informative and you enjoyed it. Give me some feedback, because a lot of people want to see this. I want to know what y'all thought of it. And for the look I did, I just pulled my hair back like this and a little lip bun with some hoops. Thank you for watching this. I had a lot of fun making it. This look really isn't that hard. It's just about blending that black, that's it. I hope I helped and you learned something. If you guys want to see something like in particular, like skincare, like a lip routine, eyebrow routine, mascara routine, anything, let me know. I always want to film something. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you liked it.